Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you all the exercise you can do with this handle. This handle is made by Titan Grip, my sponsor. They sent it me along with some other equipment that I'll show you in future videos. They make some of the best arm wrestling gear on the market, whether it's handles, straps, pulleys or even tables. Everything is top quality and made to last. Their gear is made for arm wrestler and by arm wrestler, with crazy attention to detail. You can choose the size and shape of your handles to match your training style. From small to thick handles for cupping, pronation, rising and more. I've been using their gear for a while now and I can generally recommend it. If you want to check them out, the link is in the description. And you can even use my code ETON10 for 10% off. And before you start, I just want to say that 65% of people that watches my video are not subscribed. So if you really enjoy this type of content, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thanks to everyone who does it. So actually, we're not talking about just one handle, we're talking about three. You can buy the small, medium or large version. But if you're a beginner and don't know which one to choose, here's a simple rule. It depends on your gender and weight class. Women should probably go with the small or medium size, since obviously women usually have smaller hands. Don't forget, the goal is to replicate the condition of the match as close as possible. If you are always training with some handles that don't match your hand size, you might end up limiting yourself over time. Take my dad for example. He got used to big handles, which helped him a lot in open weight classes, but now he struggles more against some smaller hands in his own category. So if you weigh under 90 kilos, I recommend you to use the medium size. Of course, if you got the budget, training with all sizes can be beneficial. You'll see there is quite a lot of exercise you can do with this handle and a lot of angles that helps you work on the key direction you'll find on the table. In this video, we're focusing on cable and table exercise. But if you want a follow-up video with some home training ideas using basic equipment, let me know in the comments. Today, I'm not going to throw a bunch of exercise at you. I'll explain how to do them properly, what they're used for, and where you can actually see these moves in real matches. The first exercise is more for hook than for top row. It's about controlling center. You'll set the pulley in front of the table at about shoulder height. You'll start with a neutral wrist, maybe slightly losing. Some people will train with slightly flexed wrists, but that's stupid. Because in real competition, when the ref doesn't give you the setup you like, you'll blame them for your loss. So always start like in a real match. Neutral wrist position, maybe slightly more pronated, and that goes for all the exercise that I'm about to show you. In that position, flex your wrists and go to your pec while pulling with the back. Your elbow should go from the front to the back of the pads during the movement. A really important detail is to keep a tight angle between your upper arm and your forearm, like that. You should stay high and you'll probably feel it burning in your brachioradialis. This move usually bothers the presser the most. Their hand ends up misaligned with their shoulders, and that really messes them up. They go from here with their hands behind their shoulders to there. A perfect example of this exercise in a real match is my father against Zoloyev, even though my father is not a presser. Zoloyev fully takes center by flexing his wrists and pulling with the back, while keeping his passive pronation, which makes him even more dominant. Now let's move on to the second exercise, still with the pulley in front, but now higher. Start like in a real match, flex your wrists and pull with the back. But instead of going towards the pec, you're aiming towards your opposite hip, trying to go past the table. This is how you gain advantage in a real match. Some people just do it like that. But I find it much less interesting. Not just aim to the pad, but go towards yourself, which helps you break the center and control your opponent. This move is good against top rollers. You could see it in one of my recent matches. But the real expert at this is Alijan Muratov.
Explosivity of Alijan can be a problem. Here we go!
The next one is for top rollers or siders like Tadachings. Here we're targeting the finishing phase, the strike that ends the match. You want to place the pulley as high as possible, usually above you. I can't hear because my setup is blocked. So yeah, ideally the pulley should be here. You'll start as always, and the goal is to touch the pad while keeping your shoulder parallel to your hand. So not like this, like this. If your shoulders goes over your hand, it's a different move, it's a press. This is extremely useful if you're strong on the outside, strong pronation, strong back pressure, but you're always stuck on the center. If you recognize yourself, then you need this exercise. Toti have trained like this, and you can believe me, when he's stuck here, he's not stuck, you're done. You also see it in a lot of side pressure specialists like my dad, in this match for example. And it's very useful against Kings movers too. Todd Kings versus Devon is the perfect example. You can do it in two different ways. By flexing your wrists while doing it, or just staying straight. Both are valid. For this one, we're finally going to change the angle of the pulley. Now it's from the side. The height doesn't really matter. You can do like this or this. This time the wrist is less involved. We're focusing more on side pressure and tricep. So basically, it's a press. You probably already know this one. Start with a neutral wrist at the center of the table, shoulder squared, and press while flexing your wrist. If you're a beginner, the goal is to drive your shoulder behind your hand. That's it. You can see it in Kamil Jablonski, Jerry Kadoret, Devon, or Ibrahim Sagov. That's just a press. This is the last movement that trains the whole scapular chain. Place the pulley at the corner of the table, about the height of your hip. This is for defensive hook. Start slow in a losing position, wrist also losing, then flex your wrist and bring your hand towards the opposite shoulder. That's more for a last resort movement, useful when you're really in trouble. This is the first way to do it. You'll see it in a match from Kristaps.
Uzbekistan has a top row on Latvia, but he doesn't have full control. Latvia is keeping his hand straight, which means he hasn't lost his hand. Once you've lost your hand...
Or again, like that. For the second way, just do the same, but keep your wrist flexed all the way. Muratov especially used this move on these fights to come back from a losing position. Put the pulley in front of the table again, at shoulder height or higher. Now this is a personal tip, I've never seen anyone do this before. You're going to take a belt or strap or anything. Attach it to the handle of the table. Place your hand inside, so your hand is at the center of the table, and just flex your wrist. The strap forces you to isolate the movement. You can't push, so you can't cheat with momentum like you do when you're usually tired. This is now the last exercise of the video. Place your arm on a board or support, pulley behind you, start in a neutral wrist position and flex your wrist. Here the pulley heights change everything. The higher it is, the harder it gets, and the more it shifts the work from your cupping to your fingers. If the pulley is perpendicular to your forearm, it will work more on your cupping, and if it's higher, you'll target more finger containment. So, that's the end of the video. I hope I was as complete as possible. If you have any question, drop them in the comments. Don't forget you can have 10% off with my code Ethan10, and I'll see you next time.